What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the card table, where today we're going to do yet another set plan review. This time of, well, you could probably guess. We got the Mat Out. It's not from the right set. It's from Aerial Sea Deliberation. I don't care. We're talking about Eradicators. We're talking about Narukami. Here's the Clanny Boy dice. There it goes. You can roll it. I got a 3. Comment down below what your dice roll was. We'll see who goes first in our card fight, I guess. Once again, thank you to Monster Games for getting my plan set right on time. If you guys are interested in doing a plan set, be sure to check them out, link down below. You're welcome for the free ads. And as always, if you guys enjoy what we're doing here, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, all that cool stuff. As always, don't forget to check out my page on TCG Player. I sell cards sometimes, and helps me make some money to do some stuff on the channel, like buy this plan set and produce better videos in the future when I get some better equipment. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, let's talk about generic cards real quick. Not much to talk about. We got a new starter. It's Eradicator Boy. It's not ugly, but like, since all stars do the exact same thing, unless I really need it to be tribal, I will always use Spark Kid, Draco Kid. It just, it makes me sad. Get reprint crit, reprint front, cute new heal, cute new draw. And this guy's 7k, 15k for all users on decks. There he goes. Not much to say about generic cards, just new trigger, 2 new triggers. They're both kind of cute. I don't know if I'll run them, but I might. Going on to what the cool kids do. You've actually seen each of these cards from my sneak pool, because I pulled one of each of them, like over wherever. But we got Vanquisher, who in this set gave us 3 new cards for the Draconic Vanquisher archetype. First of all, the VR is full Bronto, and he has 3 skills. First of all, he's treated as Draconic Vanquisher on your Vanguard circle. Secondly, when placed, all your front row gets +10, which is basically a front trigger. And final effect, when bound, if your Vanguard is a Draconic Vanquisher, discard a card from your hand, ride as stand, and this gets draw -1 until end of turn. During this turn's end phase, you could not get Imaginary Gift Axel, and at the end of turn, ride a grade 3 from your hand at rest. That last effect is a mouthful. So basically, he counts as a Vanquisher, which is cool, I guess. You run 8 times the Draconic Vanquisher now. You get a free front trigger, very much like Vanquisher's static ability once you've bound enough cards. And he gives you a nice little re-ride, re-attack. The way that it's worded, at the end you do not get a gift during the end phase. That's basically to prevent gift spam, because otherwise you'd be going, get you 1 gift from normal ride, 1 gift from him, and then a 3rd gift from your 3rd ride. So that just helps you bring you down to more of a Gear Chronicle level, unless it's something like Luard or Gurgit. Makes it fair and balanced. I don't know how I feel about this. I've never been a Vanquisher player, so it's hard to say. But he's cool, you get a free re-ride, I guess. Yay. Support cards, Start Climb Dragoon and Chainbolt Dragoon. We'll read Chainbolt first, because he kind of tiers the 2. Place, check your top 7, reveal up to 1 Vanquisher. There it is. Your hand, if you did, shuffle your deck. Then, when bound from hand, you can call this to a rearguard circle. Cool. So, helps you get your grade 3 and another card that you can call when it's bound. Because, at the end of your battle fit that is attacked, if your Vanguard is a Vanquisher, you can retire this dude, draw a card, bind a card from your hand, choose a card from your opponent's front row, and bind them. Here's some cards that you could call when they're bound. Also, Vanquisher has a bunch of other cards that do that. But, real simple effect. There's literally no cost to it other than retiring him. And, yeah, you just bind a card from each side and draw a card. That's not bad. On to the more important cards. We got Eradicators. So Descendant, I already told you about him on the other video, but he has 3 effects just like Vanquisher does, because he's a boss card. First of all, when you ride this, if your Vanguard is an Eradicator, then you get all the effects that card you wrote over does. That's kind of like a built-in break ride. It's the reason why you want to play Eradicators as a tribal deck. And yeah, just all sorts of cool combos with it that I'll show off in a future video, because I'm definitely making this deck. Second effect is very standard. So +1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, bind it, and then move up the rearguard behind it. Very standard to what Eradicator does, just bind and drag cards up. Finally, he resands. Plus return when it doesn't hit, counterblast 1, discard 1, restand drive -1. One cute thing I will say is that he does stack. So like if you had this end as your card last turn, you rewrite it, then that once a turn effect will be for him, and as that you'll get a once a turn effect from the one that you wrote over. So there is potential to do a double restand with this, just it's not quite your optimal play. So, plenty of cute things you can do with it. For example, this. It's the budget card, but it's a thing that you could do with Descendant. So during your turn, if a card was bound, it gets +10. Then when it attacks counterblast 1, it gets a crit. So just an example of that. Do this ride. All of a sudden, you use his effect, once per turn effect, bind a card. That'll trigger him, so you get your +10, because you inherited all the skills. Then when he attacks you, counterblast 1 and give him a critical. So that's nice, 22 double crit, gets 3 stand ability. Like I said, not your optimal option, but it is there in case you need it. Under support cards, we got Plasma Catapult Dragon. Once per turn, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and front row. They drag up the card in front of it, and if it's on Vanguard, you draw a card. Again, very standard Eradicator stuff, just pay a cost, bind a card, move a card forward, and if it's on Vanguard, you draw a card. Once again, of course, a lot of these are designed to be rad targets for Descendant. If he's on an additional rear guard, he gets +5. Then in place, if you have an Eradicator Vanguard, then discard 1, choose one of your opponent's front row, bind it, and draw a card. 3, literally discard to bind and draw. It's automatically +1 right there, and him being on an Axel Circle will give him an extra +5. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's probably since a theme for the Eradicators now that they like to bind stuff and move stuff forward. Also draw cards sometimes. Weird Boy, Spark, Rose, Dragon. I will say it that way. It sounds funnier. So 2 effects. I'll read that second one first because it's shorter. When it attacks hits Vanguard, soul blast 1, draw a card. You're not going to hit with it, but there you go. It's a free draw. Guess you could clean it with Descendant and get 2 chances to draw. Alright, then in place, it gets +5, and check your top 5, reveal 1 card with Eradicator in it. Put it in your hand, and if you did, discard a card from check top 5, cycle 1. Deck is meant to be tribal, and I love it. Speaking of that ability, we have Isolation Eradicator Niski, which in addition have a cool name. In place, check your top 5, search for an Eradicator, add to your hand, and if you add one to your hand, discard 1 card from your hand. Where have I seen that effect before? You got grade 2 and grade 1 with the same ability to just keep on filtering and adding cards to your hand for free. It's so good. Ugh, it's not as good, sadly, as this. It makes me sad. It looks cool, but there's basically a little combo between these 2 dudes. So, during your turn, if you have other dude in the same column, it's +3, okay, so 12k. Then at the end of a battle attack while boosted by the other guy, counterblast 1, bind all cards in the same column as this, and draw 2. I mean, like, net worth is a +2 at the most if your opponent has a full column behind it, because you're going to be binding him and the rear guard. That's 2 minus from you, but if your opponent has 2 and that's another 2 from them. So that kind of evens out, but you also draw 2. So I guess +1 counting in counterblast cost, but it's just not worth it. It's a gimmick. You could run it. Here's his booster. If you have other guy, he gets +3. Oh, you can make numbers, yay. In place, if you have other guy in the same column, you countercharge 1. So it's good engine, so that effect's effectively free. But it's just, you're committing so much. Like, you could build this as a fun budget version of it, but I don't think anyone's ever gonna run them. It's too low deck space. What people will run, though, is this amazing card, who says, when any player's card is bound, choose one of your opponent's back row cards and move it to an open front row circle. Remember how Eradicator is all about just, like, binding stuff and moving cards around? He do that for free, and he's a common 8k booster. It's so good. So that's all the Eradicators. Finally, we got a couple of generic cards. First of all, reprint of the grade 3 Fodder Searcher Dude, which is kind of awesome because I didn't have any before and he used to be super expensive, but now he's not. Same effect as everyone else. His +5 is if any player's card was bound during the turn. We got the Critical Set, Crit Sentinel, plus their 30k guard. Sentinel can't use perfect guards if you use him. You know how they work, they're all the same. We got 3 support cards to round this off. The Gene of Thundershock, who unfortunately doesn't have a gift. But when it attacks counterboss 1 by another rear guard, draw a card, he gets plus 10. It would be okay if it had a gift. Like, as it stands, Narukami just has too many support grade 3s, and those like can't even afford to run the support grade 3s in. So like, well, it's nice to make him a 22 beater that lets you draw bind a rear guard. It's just not worth it. Martial Arts Dragon, who I thought was going to be a Vanquisher card, but he does not say Vanquisher anywhere on the card. In place, Counterboss 1, Soul Blast 1, choose a front row rear guard and bind it. Then, when your other units attack die, this gets plus 5. I mean, I guess, like, looking at that second effect, you could maybe run him with your boy Descendant, because you want him to not hit on the first attack. But he's not an Eradicator, so there's not going to be room for him since you're running all tribal. And, yeah, I mean, in your other rear guards, I guess does it stack? Like, if it does stack, that's a really cool power card. But otherwise, it's mediocre. This is rare, it's supposed to be okay. Not a bad card though, like, get a free bind off it, and free power up, 14k attacker. And the final card is the Vibe Crusher Dragon. I'm just gonna ignore that R and that O, it's the Vibe Crusher. He crushes your vibes. When placed, if your opponent's grade 2 or greater, if your Vanguard's grade 2 or greater, Counterboss 1, draw a card, choose my opponent's back row rear guards, move it to an open circle. That sounds like an Eradicator thing, but it's not an Eradicator just like that. That's the end of the review. So, that was a big pile of Narukami cards. Got a bigger pile here, but that's all just extra copies of stuff. I just went over one of each, obviously, instead of the full set. But let me know down below if you guys enjoy this style of video. Do more in the future for different sets and clan sets that I get out of those sets. As always, like, comment, subscribe, shilling for things. See you guys next time. As always, don't forget to embrace the infinite. Narukami dice.